shouldn't be doing this right now because I last night was the opening night of The Mystery of Irma Vep, and the show is really taxing on my voice, so I have to be careful about using my voice today so I can finish this run of the show. But I wanted to talk about that right now. This show is the most challenging show I've ever done before for a couple reasons. Number one, it's just two people, and it's two people playing 8 roles, and there are lightning fast quick changes and chases, and just it's a very stylized piece, so it takes an inordinate amount of energy to get through it. And I'm double dressed with costumes, so I'm sweating profusely. And yeah, no, yum. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the devotion to art, I think. I began my trajectory as an artist back when I was 16, I think. And I knew right away that there was something special about this world. And it all kind of culminated last night in this. Because here you have the inherent challenges of this show are so seemingly insurmountable that you don't think it's going to happen, because everything has to be timed to perfection, and if the slightest thing goes wrong, it could cascade into a number of other things. And you always have to be on your toes because something will go wrong, and you have to be prepared to deal with it on stage or off stage. And last night was no exception. Things went wrong, and we there were moments where we improvised our way, and we would be on stage, and the other person would be having trouble with a costume change, and we would have to improvise and stall. And it's fun. It's fun. But you go into it knowing that it's like, oh my God. But you have these people that come together to make this happen. And they're all dedicated to this one little thing. And the heart and soul that goes into this endeavor is immeasurable. And every so often you get a moment to step back and realize that there are so many people in this world that are dedicated to making sure that the arts continue. And they do it because they understand how important they are to the world, to a community, to the individual, to me, to you, to everyone. And feeling that energy coming together to make something happen like this, it leaves an indelible mark on your soul. And especially what was unique about this was that this was a brand new theater company. It was their inaugural show. And to be a part of that is something that you is almost inexplicable. And it is the thing, one of the things, I guess, that for me makes life not worth living, because life is just by design worth living, and that makes a lot of sense. There's no profundity in that. It's just a fact. I guess I hope it's a fact. But it feeds the soul on a level that nothing else does. because you have all of these people coming together to make this one thing happen. And they know how precious it is. They know how precious it is to them and to those who come to view it. And how precious it is to the world and the universe. Because I strongly believe that making art puts an energy out into the world that nothing else does. And that's why it is so, I'm sorry, I started creeping up to the camera. That's why it is so important that it exists. Because if we did not, I'm not talking about me, but the collective we, if we did not put that energy back into the world, into the universe, I fear that it would shrivel up. That the soul of the universe would shrivel up. And so I got to experience that on a very unique level last night with the birth of a new theater company. And especially with this particular show that takes so much effort and is so complex on every conceivable level. And I tell you what, as an actor, if you ever see the opportunity to do this show, do not shy away from it. Because it is fulfilling in ways you cannot imagine. And I also have to say that yesterday was especially joyous for me because Dracula Theory was released. So I not only got to open a show that has to do with vampires, I got to release my book about vampires. And I'm really excited to hear what people think about Dracula Theory, because those two books, Frankenstein Theory and Dracula Theory, are very special to me because they retell stories that helped to make me fall in love with horror as a young child. The movies, those black and white movies, left a mark on me that will never go away. And this was my act of taking the glorious wonder of those black and white films and merging them with the books and making them something that is more accessible to the modern audience than the original books are, while still setting them in the period of the original books. So I hope that, first and foremost, I hope that if you are in the area and you get a chance to see Irma Vep, that you do. You won't regret it. It will be money well spent and time well spent. You will laugh, and I think that you will sit in wonder as to how my co-star and I have the energy to pull this off. And I hope that you will pick up a copy of Dracula Theory, and I hope you'll enjoy it. And you know, this is one of those things that you can't do alone. You can't, well, obviously you can't pull off a theatrical endeavor by yourself. I mean, you could do a one-person show, but even that requires other people to help. And you know, that's one of the wonders of theater, is that there are all these people backstage doing thankless jobs, and without them, without those people helping to dress us backstage during those quick changes, I don't know what we would do. So, you know, and without editors and beta readers and proofreaders, it just wouldn't happen. And so, to all of those people out there, everyone that make the effort to help create art and to bring it to life for the world and the universe to experience, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you help replenish the soul of the universe. And without you, that soul would shrivel up and die. And yes, Muse, I consider you a part of that, because without you, I wouldn't have the stories for which I can then tell and give to the people. So anyway, thank you again. And yes, Muse, you, my friend, are awesome.